Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the incredibly intense, high-stakes narrative hidden right inside Australia's brilliant 2-0 victory over Turkey. We aren't just looking at the final score here, we are breaking down the tactical shifts, the lightning-fast counterattacks, and the absolute anatomy of what I'd call a truly tournament-defining performance.
To really get why this match was so charged, we kind of have to rewind the clock back to 2002. It's actually wild to think about, but that was the very last time Turkey stepped onto a World Cup pitch for a third-fourth place playoff. Guys, that is a 24-year drought. Just imagine the sheer weight of emotion, the pressure, and the national anticipation carrying into this opening match.
So you end up with this massive collision of two totally different worlds. On one hand, you've got this crushing, historic expectation of a whole nation literally holding its breath for Turkey's return. And on the other, well, you've got the harsh, unrelenting reality of tournament football, delivered via Australia's sudden and brutal opening strike. The Socceroos completely ignored the romantic script.
Let's look at exactly how Australia swarms first.
This sequence right here brilliantly illustrates the ruthless nature of transition football. You have a really promising Turkish attack building up as Muac and Perchu link up. But then, a single crucial deflection in the midfield changes absolutely everything. Rather than just resetting, Australia immediately swarms forward on a rapid counterattack. They turn defense into a lethal offense in a matter of seconds.
The broadcast commentators hit the nail on the head for this exact moment. They said, that's a lovely touch, and that's a lovely finish. Because, it's one thing to find open space for a counterattack, right? But the composure required to produce a perfect touch and a clinical finish at that breakneck speed, that is what separates good teams from great ones. And it's Nestory who completely capitalizes on that sudden shift in momentum. With one swift blow, he opens the scoring and absolutely silences those massive Turkish expectations. Just like that, a 24-year wait is instantly greeted with a really steep uphill battle.
Which brings us to the next phase of the match, end-to-end chaos.
The commentary rightly described this part of the game as end-to-end stuff. I mean, the game completely blew open. We saw a powerful distance shot agonizingly denied by the woodwork. We had this crazy offside confusion where Kundra just played on through a flagged play. Aktiwai was desperately twisting and turning in the box, trying to pull the trigger, while Zechelik consistently found sneaky ways to slip behind the Australian defense. It was total, beautiful chaos.
So, with Zechelik pushing behind the defense and the game wide open, the tension peaks around one crucial tactical question. Would the fresh legs of the substitutes finally turn the tide for Turkey? If you're watching this unfold, you're on the edge of your seat, just waiting to see if those subs provide the spark they so desperately need.
Well, the answer was a resounding no. Instead of a desperate Turkish equalizer fueled by those changes, Australia just flips the script again. They ruthlessly surge forward to clinically secure their second goal. The game management and counterattacking efficiency from the Socceroos here is just impeccable. They absorbed the chaos, and then they punished the gaps.
Now, we have to talk about the unbreakable wall.
Because you simply cannot talk about this victory without highlighting the real hero of the final act, the Australian goalkeeper, Beach. Turkey threw absolutely the kitchen sink at the net in those closing stages. A perfect hanging cross from Sutter finds Arl, saved. A beautiful setup for Demirel's volley, straight at Beach. A direct, powerful shot from Hakan Olale Nall, denied yet again. The sheer volume of chances was staggering, but they just kept crashing into this unbreakable wall.
So, when that final whistle blew, the scoreboard firmly read 2-0. It was a masterclass from a highly efficient, incredibly resilient Australian squad. They survived the emotional wave of the stadium, executed flawlessly on the counterattack twice, and relied on a world-class performance right between the posts.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. When the dust settles on a 24-year wait, what actually matters more? Is it the history, the passion, and the narrative a team brings into the stadium, or is it purely about who executes their game plan when the referee's whistle actually blows? Today, Australia proved that flawless execution writes its own history. Thanks for joining me to unpack these highlights, and as always, keep seeking out the why behind the game.